world with peace and Toodles.
Well, if it isn't our fellow strangers. Well, welcome back to another episode of Traversing the Strange World
with peace and Toodles.
And Toodles, that's him over there.
That's me.
That's Peace is me right here. So, today, we will be discussing
femininity.
Actually, the opposite of femininity. We will be discussing masculinity.
That sounds sexist to me.
What?
Discussing masculinity.
We could have an episode.
Giving no credit to femininity.
We could have an episode discussing femininity, certainly, but I don't know. I feel like compared to masculinity, it would be a bit out of place.
We need some very feminine women to interview to discuss femininity, please.
That would be interesting, actually, to get like maybe a variety of different types of women to discuss what femininity means to them. Because it's in the process of discussing it, there's going to be both things that me and you find common ground on, and most likely would disagree on in the terms of masculinity.
You think we disagree on a lot of points? I guess we'll find out.
Yes, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
I would say probably 75 agree on, 25% disagree on.
Well, before we get too far into it,
Yes.
first,
It's
we
time
need our
for
first
our
segment.
first segment of the show. So, you have anything to update these kind people about, Toodles?
not much out of the ordinary. You know, Nate Visen's been making some new music in the studio.
Oh, he strikes again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
making some new stuff. And, you know, actually, my kids got me playing Roblox.
Those kids.
What an addictive little game.
The youth.
I understand it.
The youth are corrupting the elderly.
They've infiltrated me. So
What's this game consist of?
Well, we're playing Steel Brain Rot. It's about as helpful to a person's development as it probably sounds.
Well, yeah, but what's the premise of the game? What's it about?
You know Pokemon? Bunch of unique creatures. Each of them have different abilities and strengths.
Gotta catch them all.
Well, yeah, same concept here. Bunch of things. Instead of Pokemon, they're called brain rots, and you just basically have...
I thought that was you shitting on the game, saying that, no, it's just brain rot.
Nope, that's the name.
Oh, okay. That's why I was like, well, what's the premise of the game, though?
It's Steal a Brain Rot. Basically, got a bunch of houses, and there's a little runway, a little road that all these things walk down. You can go buy them as they're walking down, so you own them. And the lock, the gate, we'll say, is on your house, is on a timer. You got to be in the house to trip the button to reset it once it unlocks itself. Mm-hmm. And during that time, when it's unlocked, other people can come in and steal your things. So it's basically a battle of getting the best stuff and then not letting people steal it. And then trying to steal other people's.
Sounds fun.
It's kind of dumb, but it's fun when like all four of us are doing it together.
Yes, it's good family time. The kids probably enjoy that. Old dad is playing a fun game with them.
Oh, dude, I stomp them into the ground.
Hell yeah, good.
Ain't letting them beat me.
Yeah. Jordan Peterson talks about, in one of his old lectures. I like Jordan Peterson's older lectures, but he talked about how, like in studies of lab rats, how the rats, the older male rats will wrestle with the younger rats. It's like they're teaching them kind of social boundaries in rat language. But every now and then, like the older rat, the dad rat, he always wins, but every now and then he lets the little rat win so that the little rat earns confidence. But the key word there is earned, It has to cost, you have to put in some sort of effort to beat old dad.
Precisely.
Yes.
See, I got all
Master
the best
Splinter.
stuff in this game. I'm like on my way to max this thing out.
Have you played any board games with them?
Oh, yes.
Those
yes.
poor kids.
But like you said, every now and again, I got to let my wall down for a little bit, and they come in and steal one. And I'm like, oh, no, dang it, give that back. And I let them get it, just so they have a little taste of victory before I crush them into the ground again.
Yes. See what this tastes like? You will never taste it again.
What's your updates, ponderings, reflections?
My updates, so we're coming up to about 6 weeks since my surgery.
Your arm's looking a little noodly.
It is. It's getting very small. That's been the hardest part, probably. It didn't take very long to get used to working with one hand, doing just this and that with one hand, and by the time I got used to doing everything with one hand, I started getting function back in my other hand and was able to do more little by little. I got a 5-pound limit. That's the way it's going to be for a while. It's going to be about 2 weeks before I can start lifting again. I've been training. That is lifting upper body. I've been training legs like something else. By the time it's all said and done, I'll be able to drop kick an elephant. And I've been doing core as well. I think that has actually helped, other than on my left arm, it's helped preserve a lot of muscle in my upper body. Because when you train legs,
that testosterone boost helps benefit the growth of the rest of your muscles.
It produces more testosterone throughout your body.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Some fitness advice thrown in there for you.
Didn't know we were science experts, huh?
Yeah. Scientists.
Scientists. So yeah, I'm getting more function.
Does it make you feel less masculine?
I really didn't like the early phases where I had to be helped so much. I'm not gonna say that it made me feel less masculine, but that certainly didn't make me feel masculine. I definitely like being able to do
whatever I want by myself, What is that?
It's nothing, just continue.
Why?
Isn't that nice?
Isn't what nice? Why am I hearing myself repeated? What did you do?
You're being repeated.
What is that?
It's a delay.
Don't do that.
That'll mess with me hearing. I don't know how people do that. Some people do that. They give a whole like DeFrancisco. Oh wow.
Is that actually harder to talk?
Why doesn't it do it with yours?
Because I didn't put it on mine.
All right. Well, put it back.
Is it hard?
But before I would like to say, good day to all, and all. Have a good night. The people. I wish good tidings upon you all.
That's poetic.
Yes, it is. Joy and happiness upon the land.
Should we keep this part in?
A proud heart in the chests of the men.
But can you keep talking even when the delay's going? Or does the delay going constantly mess you up so you can't talk anymore?
Now you're doing it. I would say let's maybe if there's ever a point in the show where one of us are saying something very noteworthy and it's like a speech, we turn that out.
That sounds like a good idea.
Good day.
All right. Well, that's enough of that.
That was fun though. So yeah, I'm just getting used to, or just getting excited about when I can lift again. Even though it's going to be 5 pounds for a while, I'm going to do a lot with that 5 pounds. Gonna do what I can with the 5 pounds.
Let's rep it out. 200 reps later.
Oh yeah, 200
Bicep curls.
200 reps shoulder rugs. Get the sausages sizzling. I'm talking about my traps. They pop up and they. Anyway. Aside from that, I've actually gotten into a few. It's been a while since I've done this, but I've gotten into a few debates on social media. On Facebook, in
Over
particular. There's this Christian nationalist I've been debating with. Even though I would argue that it's like white nationalism more than Christian. He puts that on there, but really, what they're like, what he's defending is the history of Europe and the Catholic Church and.
White history,
yeah. Christianity is just a part of that. But it's nationalism isn't the core of Christianity. Like the founders of Christianity, Jesus and Paul, in their minds, the end was coming very soon. And Christianity, this is the premise like Bart Ehrman and a lot of New Testament scholars take. It was a first century apocalypse cult. They were preparing for the end to come soon. It was, Paul, he spoke against the idea of national identity, being Jew, Greek, Gentile. Mm-hmm. More so than Jesus did. And then, they spoke of worldly possessions and seats of honor in worldly terms. And Paul spoke of them as like a disgrace. So it's been fun. It's kind of I've kind of enjoyed it. It's a little because we're both pretty polite, and it's been like a little sparring match. Mm-hmm. So and then this will probably be month-old news by the time we post, but
true.
Charlie Kirk.
I know.
Got shot. I would say there was much about. I'm not going to act like somebody who knows. I didn't know a lot about what he talked about prior to his death, but since he's died, I've seen a lot of stuff and.
Seemed like a right-leaning voice of reason.
Yeah, definitely right-leaning. But it's regardless of what you think, it's terrible here in America for somebody to lose their life over expressing a point of view. Here in America, we should be able to express any point of view, no matter how bad or good it is, and not worry about death or threats over our life.
That's part of that tiny minority extreme leftist ideology is probably where that came from, silencing him.
Actually,
that's exactly
what I've heard in the news as of today. Now, again, maybe the story will be completely different a month from now, but
they think a Republican shot him.
Yes,
to blame the left on about something.
And that's the same case with the guy that supposedly shot Trump. That both these people were in the news. They're saying they were conservative, and when I say the news, I'm not saying that
the same news that's funded by this extreme left.
I'm not saying I was going that direction, because even I haven't heard right-leaning sources dispute rather the guy that shot at Trump was right-leaning. That seems, regardless of political party, that seems to be the consensus. That guy did it.
He's too much of a threat to the communist agenda that the extreme idealistic left is trying to propagate in the government, so he had to get silenced.
Are you talking about Charlie Kirk?
Yes.
See, that's the thing, is the people that you're saying they don't have the dominant amount of power in the government today.
No, it's the illusion that they do because they're so organized and funded.
They don't. That's not the illusion, though. in this last election, in various states, like including Michigan, like it went red.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like there's the illusion that the extreme left is more powerful than they are because they're the ones that fund a bunch of these popular news outlets, CNN and MSNBC. And the reason a lot of the states and stuff got red this last time is because people are finally waking up to the funding behind a lot of those news places. So they see a lot of the deceit, and I think that's why it was leaning so far red. Because after those last years of Biden, you know, it's like you could almost sit there and witness the step-by-step systematic deconstruction of the government just to make it weak to invasion and weak to being conquered. So yeah, it's like, what are you going to do in the last free country on earth? Gets taken over by a bunch of people in politics that are bought and paid for by China. Charlie Kirk's a voice against that movement. And that movement, you know, and a lot of their books and stuff too, like Rules for Radicals, Charles Azinski.
I don't know if that was the case to where, like, it was the system that was trying to silence him. Because I don't think he was really, like, in terms of, like, the most provocative or the most out. You know, something that he was saying, and maybe I heard that.
He's the one that goes and talks. And
I heard that he was telling Trump to release the files. And that I've heard speculation.
Well, a lot of people want Trump to release the files.
Like I've heard speculation that that's why. Like,
well, there's millions of other people that are saying the same thing about releasing the files. Mm-hmm. I don't think Epstein's got much to do with it. I think he's just a voice that's making a big impact on waking kids up against the destructive communist ideologies of the extreme left. Because
my point is that I don't think that it's like this, like, leftist, like the left collectively, like he was a threat to them and they had to take him out. Like,
no, not the left. Dude, traditional Democrats are common sense. So are traditional Republicans. I'm talking about the extremes. The extreme right and the extreme left. Like, the extreme left is a tiny minority, but they have a lot of money and a lot of influence in media to alter what and how you perceive things. It's their movement that's...
Well, what about the...
And they're not against
what
things
about
like...
the extreme far right and their power?
I don't know too much about them, except they just want to freaking deport everybody.
An outlaw
that's
gay
not
marriage.
White. And, yeah, outlaw gay marriage and make abortion illegal.
I don't see the point of that. Obviously, because, like, I'm not religious, and so I don't think that's even the consent. Maybe I'm out of touch. I don't feel like that's the consensus view with, like, even conservatives our age, that they want gay marriage illegal. Even with conservatives, I don't think that's the consensus view.
Yeah, I agree with you because I don't think it's the majority. You're more
conservative than me. I would say I'm centrist. Like, lately, I would say probably been leaning more left than in previous years.
Well, that's the thing. Like, some things you have to lean right, and some things you have to lean left.
Like you said, kind of like common sense Democrat. That's kind of like the position that...
I think that's the majority of Democrats, and I think the common sense Republicans is the majority of them. But on the extremes of both sides is where you find most of the money and the most politics, you know, being acted out.
You were saying, though, we were talking about the consensus of a lot of young conservatives when it comes to gay marriage.
Oh, we were talking about Charlie Kirk. I think that was a rabbit trail from it.
Yes.
I mean, it's gay marriage. If you're gay and you want to get married, get married. If you're straight and you want to get married, get married.
Yeah, right.
If you're either and don't want to get married, then don't get married.
Yeah, that's not, like, making it illegal. Like, the way I see, like, my biggest issue with Christian nationalism is it's not separating church from state.
And I do agree.
And that was a big motivation of the founding fathers, was to... A number of them were deists. They weren't. Some of them were Christians. A number of them were deists.
I see it as like
inspired by the Enlightenment.
I follow the Bible, and that determines what I personally do.
Okay.
I don't see I think that should be what guides people's personal lives, is some sort of code of ethics or morals or something. For me, it's the Bible.
Philosophical anchor.
So
Yeah.
for that reason, like I always say it like this, like politically, I'm pro-choice, but personally, I'm pro-life. Because I don't think, I don't know, man. See, with abortion specifically, there's obviously the argument to be made of, well, if a birth is going to kill the mother and the child, but if an abortion will save at least the mother, then what is the correct choice to make?
All right.
And I think that would be probably up to that individual, but when you put a blanket law on it that doesn't,
Yes. It
it's
doesn't
just
look
yes
at
or
those-
no, but it doesn't look at
those-
the individual
Yes,
cases.
individual cases.
I think that's the problem with a lot of laws.
And I would say I take the same position as you on it. Like,
So, like with gay marriage, right? Am I going to get married to a man? No. But other people think that their view of life, their philosophies are just as right as anybody else does.
Yes.
So that would be equally as offensive to them as if they came to me and said, hey, straight marriage is now going to be illegal. All of us straight dudes be like, what? You can't do this. This is all right. You know, well, that's kind of what they're doing on their side. It's kind of some gray area, you know, when you're mixing religion and politics.
Yes.
Because as soon as you are religious, like even I feel like I have to say
Nobody should
that I'm anti-gay marriage because of what the Bible says.
Yes.
I'm anti-abortion because of what the Bible says. Well, except that one case. And well, what else is case by case?
Nobody should tell somebody that you should do this thing because this thing says so. If they don't treat it sacred like you treat it as sacred. You know, that's a book that you recognize as profoundly sacred, but they don't entertain that. You know,
Right.
Christianity is at its worst, I think, when it expects people to accept that they've accepted. But that is
I can hand somebody a guitar
with
and sit there right in front of them on mine and play the solo for some, I don't know, Sweet Child of Mine, and I'll say, hey, all right, now it's your turn, play it. Well, I can't expect them to immediately be at that point of being able to play it. It's the same thing with religion.
and
when
they might
you
have
can't,
no desire to play that. They might
maybe
want to play
somebody,
drums.
maybe somebody will be converted and start following the Bible. But before that time happens, you can't force every single like minute, obscure doctrine from the Bible and law and regulation and rule onto their lives because they're not going to want to do that. Their hearts haven't been changed yet. They haven't made a decision to follow it yet.
And maybe they want to play drums. Maybe they don't want to play guitar.
Well, exactly.
Still making music, like you said, a philosophical anchor.
Yeah.
And I would, you know, obviously I'm agnostic, and so I'm not going to entertain the same stance, but I will say that it is very important to have a philosophical anchor, a life philosophy, something that, and ideally a life philosophy that points towards maximizing your well-being and the well-being of others, you know. But, yeah, that's the stuff that I've been pondering. Usually I'm not a very, very political guy, but that stuff's kind of caught my attention lately. You know, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. There's a number of, you know, like with the Christian nationalists and stuff that I did hear Charlie Kirk say, there's this fear-mongering towards strangers and towards the left and the person we need to fear is those in power. Those who see us as cattle.
With the money and the influence that kill people like Charlie Kirk when they make too big of an influence against their movement.
I don't know if I agree with you about that, but my point is that I don't agree with this fear mongering of people.
Who's Charlie?
Liberals, pagans, people outside of the Christian scope.
What type of fear mongering does he do? The fear of hell thing?
Not the fear of hell. No, more so they're coming for us. They're wanting to take away our Christianity and our Christian culture to where it's just an opposing view, and they kind of want to express their point of view, exercise their freedom of speech, and their pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But Jonathan, actually, he just left the room to go pee again. So, since we did this last time, I'm going to read you some of the books I've been listening to. And we'll wrap up that segment because I would really like to get to the core of this discussion, the meat of the discussion today. Actually, I haven't been really listening to any new books. Yeah. I found the Apocrypha, though. The Apocrypha, the Sefer Agada, and this book titled Lost Books of the Bible. It has like 1st, 2nd Adam, the Apocalypse of Abraham.
We read from it.
Yes, a little bit. Very non-canonical books. And so you can expect in future episodes for those books to being put to use. But in terms of audiobooks, haven't really been listening to a lot of new audiobooks this week. I think I ran out of minutes. But
I listened to a freebie on Apple Books.
Toodles is back.
Bleh.
What are we at in terms of time right now?
26 minutes and 43 seconds.
You want to get rolling into the meat of the discussion? Hop into
I gotta say what my Apple book was.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Doug. What
never mind. Let's just do the topic. It doesn't matter.
Hey, stand up for yourself.
Obviously, it's not important.
Tell me, I didn't hear you.
I listened to a freebie on Apple Books this week.
Hell yeah.
That we'll have to do an episode on.
What is it?
Jules Verne.
Journey to the Center of the Earth?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were planning on doing that. I thought that was something, a different book than I knew you were listening to that.
No, see, they changed the work that I do at my work so that I have to be constantly listening to this stupid little two-way radio. And it's frustrating.
Yeah, it's the fall harvest season.
Hauling corn. Husklage.
For the farmers.
To feed their little moo cows.
Feed the moo-moos and the buck-bucks and the
oinkers.
Buzz and the mares.
E-I-E-I-O.
And on that farm,
he had a topic.
And that topic was
masculinity.
Yes, sir. Masculinity.
That's 2 different nursery rhymes right there for you.
A little bit of a divergence from our typical vibe or our theme,
Hopefully this isn't offensive. It's not meant to be.
Usually hop into... We've done, the discussion about memories and whatnot with Stilly, and then I had that talk with Chad about ostracization.
Chad.
Then you talked to...
That guy has some phenomenal hair. It's so perfect.
Shout out to Chad Abs and his phenomenal hair. And then his brother Jake, you and him talked about some, more
some aliens.
Modern events. Yeah. Aliens and whatnot. So, this is going to be one of those episodes, more about the personal world, the social world, the modern world. Masculinity.
The state of being masculine.
Some would say there's a war on masculinity. I would certainly say we're at a period in history where it's in the spotlight. Yes?
Well, of course we have to pull some conspiracy theories into this. Because, masculinity is being attacked.
Is it being attacked or examined?
Attacked.
Why do you say attacked?
Atrazine in our water lowering the testosterone in people. The chemicals in our food lowering people's testosterone. So you know the testosterone of a man in their 30s today is the same as a 60-year-old in the 90s?
Okay, so a lot of what you said I'm not familiar with, but I am familiar with the plastic that many of us do get. Like, I heard that in a month we get like a credit card size amount of plastic in our bodies from our water and what we consume. I believe that's a real statistic. And I've also heard it said that statistically, testosterone levels of the men of our generation are statistically lower than men of like previous generations, like our fathers and whatnot. Is that what you were referring to?
Indeed. Indubitably. That word I couldn't think of earlier.
So
it's going down and down, and I think it's mostly in America because, you know, we have stuff in our food and different chemicals here that are outlawed in over half of the other countries. I forget what it was. It went in a drink that is outlawed in literally every country in the world except here, but there's something like that in our drinks, our sweet drinks. And yeah, I think it's just going down and down as part of a plan, going back to that systematic deconstruction of America. I think it's just to make this country crumble, fall, and be defeated. When you combine the lower testosterone in men, so they're not going to be as motivated or ambitious to go out and make something of their lives, or they're not going to be as good of fighting men as what they could be, to be in a war, to be in the military, to fight for the land when it does get attacked. It's just weakening the country. That, and combine it with like the Boy Scouts isn't a thing anymore. It's just the Scouts. It's gender inclusive. And then you got the military. It like starts with hopefully not too much of a hot take, but when they started accepting women into fighting ranks, it's all.
Well, are you against the idea of ladies being troops?
No.
Oh.
But I think
you're saying
that,
it's all part of a larger scheme.
Yes.
Okay.
Little steps, all pieces to a puzzle, just to make America weaker so it gets defeated.
Another take on the chemicals being in the food
Chemicals.
that I've heard. It's a shortcut that the elites take in terms of like rather than adding quality ingredients to save money, they put these ingredients in. There's people like RFK that they fight against these they fight for these regulations, I should say. They fight for them. Many times, you know, they don't make it. Because a lot of times, like... No, I'm not going to go that way. So, the byproduct of us being poisoned is the elites trying to save money. Not give us high-quality ingredients, take shortcuts, poison us.
That Rules for Radicals book, you know, they talk about not being against population control, using people that agree with these extreme ideologies to go along with it, just long enough to get them in place, firmly rooted, so it's kind of an unshakable force to stand up against, then they just kill those people. Whether making them dependent on the government for everything, and then they just shut down the resources, or kill a power grid, you know, once everybody's fully connected and incapable of living life disconnected from that power grid. I think it's all part of the system, and making men weaker is part of it that's beneficial to that plan.
I definitely do think it is important for men to embody strength.
Well, masculinity that we're talking about
yeah.
today, though, not to go too far down these political rabbit holes, masculinity is more than just testosterone.
Yes.
Yes.
I
think we're going to be in agreement on kind of how we define it.
I think it's a collection of virtues.
A collection of, you know, like being a good leader to your family.
Yes. A collection
able
of virtues.
To stand up and fight for things that you believe in.
Yep. Confidence. Taking initiative.
The benefit, or it's the opposite, but attracting force to femininity.
I think kind of the conclusion that you'll see that the thought that I've been entertaining with masculinity for the last few years, you'll see by the end of the episode, that'll be my take, is I think it's a good balance of a variety of different strengths, both hard strengths and soft strengths.
Yeah, like the same masculine man that can go and kill a snake that's trying to slither toward his child is the same gentle hand that can tuck that child in at night.
Get it to stop crying and kiss it goodnight. And
there's strength and there's control.
Balance, yeah. Yes, and I think that's...
Like your dream.
I think that's masculinity at its best.
It's like your dream.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's certainly is toxic masculinity, and there certainly is positive masculinity. I kind of wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about. I kind of had in mind a fictional character and a real life person, a popular person, that kind of I see them as like an ideal masculine type.
If you say Joe Rogan, we're shutting this podcast down right now.
Okay, well, hit the off button.
Well, sorry, folks. That's it for today.
Because, okay, for me, so, I'm an open-minded person. At the end of the day, I have the live and let live mentality. I think people, live whatever life makes you happy. Live a life that challenges you, grows you. Yeah, that's the life you should live. Me personally, I enjoy being doing masculine things, being a masculine man. I enjoy that. It feels good. I find value in it. But so these are going to be my preferences. You do whatever you want to do. But this is what I find value in. And maybe you will too. So for me, when I was younger, I didn't, when I was early teens to late teens, I didn't really put as much of an emphasis on masculinity. I was very religious at this time. And many of I would say, people that I looked up to were people who were religious, various religious leaders, various religious people that I saw them as a leader, looked up to them. And so many of these people actually, which this may come to a surprise to some people, they were very empathetic, very kind, loving, be like Jesus type people. I certainly did encounter leaders that they were not empathetic. They were the archetypal, strict, militant, overly judgmental, overly condemning type religious leaders. But I wouldn't say in my teens I never had a preference for leaders like that. Some people go towards leaders like that like mosquitoes to a light. I wouldn't say that was my preference. I didn't value the more hard aspects of masculinity actually until I got older and, got married and started a business. And so the ideal that I strove towards in my late teens, early 20s was to be like these saintly, Jesus-like, kind religious figures, turn the other cheek, etc. But in the world that we live in, mantras like that get taken advantage of, and people like
I'm
that. I'm
glad you said that.
People like that, they.
Dude, when I moved to Phoenix from here, the first time when I moved for good, dude, I got walked all over the frick out there because I was too nice. People, I can't pay rent this month. It's all right, next month, just make sure you even up, and that never happens. And then you have bosses that don't pay you your paychecks, and
they take advantage of it.
make sure the next one comes through and say
Frederick.
something and, just being passive like that. Dude, if I had it up once, like, if everybody in Phoenix that literally owed me money, paid up, it would be like over $20,000.
Wow.
And we're talking just since, like,
I hope that
5 years.
I hope that comes back to you one day.
I hope so. Being nice, though. I mean, there's a time and a
Yes.
place, and then there's not.
Yes.
And part of that
glad you
experience
said
was
that,
learning that, which one's which.
Yes. I think that's an aspect of being like an ideal man, being a balanced man. is
That's
knowing
that strength versus control.
restrained empathy and restrained aggression. You give, but you're restrained. You're collective and thoughtful about your giving. Likewise, you are assertive and aggressive, but you need to be restrained in that as well. You need to be just as collected and reserved with your aggression as you are with your compassion and your giving. And that certainly is an aspect of Christian culture that gets hijacked. This blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth types. Friedrich Nietzsche he vehemently criticized Christianity over that he says in the world he believes that reinforced this kind of herd mentality where people just kind of live passive lives and they don't seek after.
That goes kind of along with like being content with what you have too. As soon as you say that you're going to try to get a bigger house,
Living
or
a life of quiet desperation.
Move up a step in life, then you're villainized because you're not humble, you're conceited, you're after the things of this world. It's like, no, I have abilities
and ambitions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can be humble, but I think humility is, how do I say it? Like the difference between being humble and being confident,
Yes.
I guess, is like humble would be, to me, achieving something great, but you don't
chill about it.
But you don't rub it in people's faces. But you can be cocky, and
You can be cocky and humble. I think you can be confident and humble.
I think you could say like, I have every ability in my mind and body to do this thing, and then you achieve it. But you can be humble throughout that process.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. I won't say that's cocky though.
I'm saying like in Christianity, when you try to achieve something more in life, oftentimes you're met with people that say, "Oh, you're not being humble because you're not being content with what you have."
Yeah.
It's like, well, what's the line between being content and being the ant,
Right.
and putting in work to achieve things? God doesn't call people just to like fall back into greatness. They always have to do something. They have to answer the calling.
And likewise with you, like what made me value that assertiveness, directness, those more strong, hard strengths of masculinity was the byproduct of, trying to be too, what's the word we want to use? You're doing the thing, turning the other cheek, letting, being giving, being like understanding. It's appearing to the outer world as passive. You're being Christ. You feel like you're being Christ-like. You feel like you're being saintly, getting taken advantage of. And over time, you get resentful and bitter about that. And
well, think of that servant. The one talent, the two talents, and the 10 talents, I think, or 1, 5, and 10, whatever. Well, the one with 10 doubled it and got 20. The one with 5 doubled it and got 10. The one with only 1 talent to start with went. And so they were all given these talents from their master and told to multiply it. And the one that only received 1 talent buried it so that he wouldn't lose it and brought it back with no interest. And the master was like, "You stupid servant, you're lazy. You could have at least put it in the bank and got interest." Well, whatever you do to, like, make more money off that money is going to be some kind of gamble. You have to do something to grow it. Being quote unquote, like in a bad way, humble and content and never achieving what you could have with the potential that you have, I think, are you going to stand before God one day and you're going to be told, well done, good and faithful servant? Or why didn't you use these talents and abilities I gave you and these dreams that you had that you thought of and said that you couldn't do it? Or that you thought it was
in this
not
world,
humble to achieve it.
You got to...
I gave you these for a reason.
Buckle up and stand up straight with your shoulders back, and you got to approach this life with some level of aggressiveness. Or at least, stand up for yourself.
Andy Frisella actually talks about that specifically. I bring him up a lot, but he calls it aggressive patience.
Aggressive patience.
Which is where he uses this analogy, and he's coming from business and motivation, but it works almost in everything. It's baking a cake. You got all the ingredients, you put them in the right combination, right amounts, and then you think, all right, this thing calls for 40 minutes at 400 degrees. Well, I'm going to crank this mofo to 800 degrees, and I'm only going to do it in 20 minutes. And what you get at the end is this burnt, crispy, edged goo ball that you cannot bypass the aspect of time in certain things. So you take the actions that you need, like you get that marketing plan together, you get that, that organized demonstration together for this guy that you got to talk to. You do those things, and then, well, now you have to wait. Wait for that marketing to get a grip and some new eyes. You just built this new building. You got to give it the time to get the profit up before you can open the next building up. There's this aspect of time involved in a lot of stuff that you have to take into consideration too when you are taking action to accomplish.
Pick the fruit in its proper season.
Yeah, aggressive patience, doing what you can, but knowing when you have to wait.
It's like
and when you're waiting, doing whatever else you can to in the process.
Yes, anticipation. Patient anticipation. So when I started to come into adulthood, I got very bitter and resentful of being pushed around, people taking advantage of me, being too listening. And it's at that point when I really started to speak my mind, assert what I wanted, speak what I wanted. I started taking a much more assertive approach, and I really started to find the value in that. And Jordan Peterson, he was very pivotal in certain aspects of defining my masculinity. I liked the approach that he took of being like a masculine gentleman, right? And he did put it. At least at this time, he put an emphasis on being a balanced man, being orderly, having one foot in the world of the order and one foot in the world of the chaos. But so with me, I've seen the value of that kind of Christ-like empathy. The power of that soft strength, as well as the value of the hard strength of masculinity.
Yes, masculine isn't just the bodybuilder. Yeah. Masculinity isn't Johnny Bravo.
I'd say it's more about your character. Yeah.
Physical strength plays a part because, of course, a man should be strong and physically fit, but I think that goes across the board. I think everybody should be physically fit.
I think your body is just going to be a reflection of your patience and your other virtues and values, right? Your patience, your discipline, your will.
Not to discredit anybody that doesn't work out or anything.
Or to call them, I'm not saying that you're not masculine either.
It's just part of the process of growth. When you want to become a better person, your health is going to be a factor at some point or another. It's you can live a great life and be fat through it all. And that's fine. But
well, and I do think your mind affects your body, and your body affects your mind.
I think exactly.
They're
I think you're going to be
wrapped in there
motivated
together.
too once you go down the road of making something better out of yourself. I think it's going to naturally come. You're going to be interested in taking your health into consideration more. And on the other side, you're going to feel better in every way when you start getting into shape
like
and fixing your diet too.
It's like you're
going to feel more awake and have more energy, and you're going to just feel better.
Your body and your brain will be like gym buddies. You know, they'll be like accountability buddies to where you're working on it together.
And it starts simple too.
Brain and body is getting stronger together, more disciplined together, and the two just go hand in hand.
It's also a process, going back to the time thing too. That physical fitness is like you can put your hours in, but you have to be aggressively patient. Yes. You have to keep working out, waiting, recovering, eating right, working out, consuming your water, get enough water.
If you get the cake out of the oven too soon, it's going to be soft. Maybe hard on the outside, but soft in the middle, And
they always say that with consistent...
You got to work those inner muscles.
With consistent workout and diet, you can see results in yourself in a month. Your close family and friends will see results in you in about 6 weeks, and random people and people you don't know that well will see the results in like 8 weeks.
Where'd you hear that?
I heard it on some YouTube forever ago.
Athlete X, maybe? Shout out to Athlete X.
Yeah, I don't know who it was, man. Like, I watched a lot of guys.
Yeah. I went through a phase last year where I was watching Sam Sulik, who's not an Eddie. But, so yeah, back to the discussion though. Joe Rogan, I would say, like, he's been very, very pivotal in the sense of he's the masculine type of, like, he's an athlete.
He's physically active.
MMA
has
fighter, muscles, tattoo.
A lot of masculine, assertive, manly hobbies.
Yeah, dominant personality as well.
Not afraid to stand up for, countless interviews. When he has a point and they disagree, he always tries to prove his point, but he doesn't force it. It's another aspect to it, He stands up for what he believes, and he's open-minded to other things too.
But then there's another aspect that you will see, that he's tremendously empathetic. He values empathy tremendously, and he has this brotherly, fatherly personality towards people, He'll listen. He's caring. He can send important... Oh boy, we have a party, Phil.
Spam risk.
Spam call. You should put your phone on silent, like mine is.
Well, if people would start understanding that I don't even answer my phone when it gets called anyway, they'd stop calling me.
People just need to find something else to do, I guess.
I think Andy Frisella, now that I'm thinking about an example for me, I think he would be my masculine role model.
Andy Frisella. Okay. He's the Real AF podcast guy.
Real AF podcast. Yeah. He owns First Form and lots of other companies.
What about him?
He's very clear and well-spoken on being... So for him, masculinity is going to be very traditional, and that's kind of the view I fall into. Men should be the protectors of their family. If you're not physically able to protect your family, then you need to do something about it. You don't... See, there's always this thing, too, like with the... You can't discredit women in a lot of things, either. Like, if... And he's said this before, too, but if you're married, right, a man and a woman are married, and the woman wants to work and have the man stay home and watch the kids, that's okay. It's just determining the role. So it's not like if you're a man, you have to be the breadwinner of the family. But no, you should be able to at least defend your family.
I think...
when in danger. Another thing, with Andy first, he also, part of being a man is, like I was saying, knowing what you believe in and being able to stand up for it too. And that's one thing I like about Joe Rogan, is when asked about where they stand, they'll explain it, but without forcing it down your throat. This is what I believe, and I'm open-minded to anything other than what I believe. But as of right now, this is what I believe, and you can lay it out, and your lifestyle, how you live, isn't hypocritical. It backs up those beliefs you claim. And on top of that, I guess the main thing that he pushes is just knowing your potential that you have and not being passive and missing out on getting the fruits of what you could have.
To where you would say that Andy Frisella, his grounding in masculinity is perhaps more traditional.
More traditional, and I think that, like, if I went to him and said, hey, this is the life I built, and...
Is he a Christian?
Yes, but he cusses a lot.
It's becoming more common with Christians, which I think is a good thing.
He believes in Jesus,
but he also has talked about manifesting.
Yes, as a natural law of the universe that God put into place for us to use.
Just like that's almost like maybe the same thing as prayer.
I think it's really similar. I mean, getting into specifics like that, they don't really talk about that in the, too often, but...
So, Joe Rogan's masculinity, I wouldn't say it's grounded in traditionalism.
With Andy, too, he doesn't have his own kids, but he says that his businesses, the people that work for him, are like his kids.
Well,
and in that way, he takes pride in that his company has produced more multimillionaires than anyone else, because the things that they learn while they're working for him sets them up to be successful in wherever they go. Yeah. And he takes pride in saying that, like, these are like my kids. I want to give them the best future possible. So that's what we try to do here. So even if you quit, you're going to be way farther ahead in life at wherever the next place is that you go.
And I do think that's an important marker that separates the boys from the men. Being able to, having a sense of resolve, being able to take care of yourself, not only being able to take care of yourself, but others, eventually.
Yeah.
It starts with being able to take care of yourself, and then that radiates outward.
When he started his podcast, he was getting in shape, then he got fat again, like over 300 pounds. And he said that he had enough people calling him fat that he looked in the mirror one day and he's like, dude, I am fat. I need to do something about it.
Hey,
but here's the thing.
I've been there.
He did do something about it. And I think that's part of being masculine, is making that resolve to do something and then actually accomplishing it.
Making the move.
Like, you put in the work every day. You're putting those ingredients into the cake.
Not just saying, but doing. Not just hoping, but prioritizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
I think it is lost in culture, some things that kind of push masculinity to the side, like toxic masculinity, not ideal, which is true. I mean, you can have an abusive guy that you could call that toxic masculinity, because...
Well, and I think
maybe he's a meathead, and
plenty of women out there that have been genuinely hurt by masculinity.
I know, and that's what gives it a bad name. Even it's like freaking chocolate, man. What a beautiful thing that you can make such an evil thing if you eat nothing but it, like, for days on end. No,
yeah. I've talked to a handful of women that they've had a history with toxic guys, and they're like, "This is all men," and I'm like, "It's not all men. It's the men that you choose."
I've met a lot of people like that too, especially out in Phoenix.
And that the same goes for guys who have like this idea that, oh, all women are toxic, yada yada yada. You go on a date with 10 different women and it goes badly. Are the 10 different women the problem, buddy?
Yeah, is it you, or is there some...
10 other people just happen to all be, toxic,
Or do you just go for some kind of type that always has the same issue going on?
Yes.
So you...
maybe that is a reflection of something that you need to look at in yourself. And I think that's an aspect of masculinity, is accountability, self-accountability, the willingness to embrace the fire of criticism.
I am kind of struggling here a little bit with masculinity, because I feel like every point that we're making would be good points for men or women.
Yes, but in our sense, we're men, you know. And I think this is, in my mind, what I'm discussing, or at least trying to discuss, is what is the, in my mind, again, my preference of what is the ideal version of the masculine, you know.
I feel like I could sum it up at this point.
See, because I don't see it in the sense of it's like, this is masculinity. I think masculinity certainly is on a spectrum because there are like varieties of men that you'll see.
There's maybe like 30 things that could all be considered masculine, and you're masculine once you have like 10 in your own box.
There's this sweet spot. In my mind, for me, there's a sweet spot on the spectrum.
I think it could be, there's a lot of factors that play it, and perhaps it's just a matter of a list of things that you check, and you know, if you check enough of them, at some point you start just becoming masculine. I think for me it would be like controlled strength, the ability to be a good leader, and actually leading, and just setting an example through how you live for other people. I don't think there's a lot that goes into it.
Masculinity?
Yes.
You're right.
I think it's one of those things. It's like
one of those things
basic in concept, but to explore all the little details is kind of like a rat race around the weeds.
It's one of those things that's important but simple at the same time. You know, it is. You know, in having a balanced society, I think you got to have your like Miranda Lambert said, ever since the beginning, to keep the world spinning. There's been all kinds. And that's the approach I take. You know, the world you need your soft strengths, you need your hard strengths. This is like where I found value on the spectrum of like what I see, like you just said, as like ideal masculinity. I think it's a balance of restrained compassion and restrained aggression. A balance of being aggressive,
Controlled.
You got, like, I think with Joe Rogan, it's not, like, his masculinity, it's not founded in traditionalism as much as it is, like, a recognition of that you got to a certain extent, this universe beckons dominance. You got to at least be a little dominant, a little assertive to actually make a carving in the world, you know? Even if you're aggressively loving and aggressive, you know what I mean? Even if like you're like an Oprah type to where
it's like we say when you start driving truck. The instructors always say, don't worry about that car and what he thinks. You need your room. If he's going to honk when he passes you,
he's going to honk.
Then he's going to honk. Just keep going and don't let it mess up your day, because there's going to be some situations somewhere
Keep your stride.
Where you're going to block a little bit of traffic, you know, backing into a thing across a 4-lane Chicago street sometimes. There's going to be days where it's not that fun because everybody else is going to be honking and flipping you off. You got to let it roll off your back and keep doing your things. If you let them affect you, well, now you're going to block that road longer because you're frustrated, not doing it right.
By the way, I know you guys are out there. So just a shout out to our truckers driving the truck and listening to the podcast while doing it.
Hey.
I know there's at least a few of you out there.
That's me.
So from Peace and Toodles to you truckers out there, honk, honk, and drive safely.
Use your jakes.
What's that?
Going down the mountains. Don't wear your brakes out.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I see it as a balance, you know.
Everything's a balance.
Yeah. You can't be too aggressive and lack empathy and a certain personal type of neighborliness, because you might come across as too cocky, insecure. You know, you're going to hurt people. And at the same time, if you're too easygoing, maybe too empathetic, too passive, you're going to get yourself hurt. So I think it is finding that sweet spot of not devaluing the soft strengths, the empathy, the compassion, the patience, as well as not devaluing the need to be assertive and strong, direct.
Controlled confidence, strength. I like that the most.
Controlled confidence. Yeah, no. Yeah, me too. Me too. I like that. I'm interested in knowing, for y'all, what's an aspect of masculinity that in your just developing as a man that you found to be valuable? Comment below. And while you're doing that, be a good saintly individual and hit the like, the follow, the subscribe. Do all the good tidings unto us.
And with that, let's move on.
Yes, it is time.
We'll
I hope
wrap
you
it up
enjoyed
and
this
put a
discussion.
bow on it.
Yes, sir. Let's wrap it up, put a bow on it, send it out into the ether.
And we'll get into the music suggestions.
All right, all right.
Listen up!
I don't know if you guys wanted it or not, if you asked for musical suggestions from us, but...
Well, we're giving them.
Yep, this is the time that we give them to you. So what have you been listening to lately, Toodles? And what do you think these fine people should listen to?
Well, I've been re-listening to some oldies that I personally kind of enjoy that isn't nothing new on anybody's radar. A little bit of Relapse album.
You were saying you listened to that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. It's my favorite one, and I really listen to it that much. So.
What's your favorite one on the album?
The favorite song? Okay, see, this album is not child-friendly. So the statements and beliefs mentioned in this album do not reflect my own by any means. Probably for nostalgic reasons, I like Underground.
I can't think of that one right off the top
Down
of
here
my
under
head.
the ground, dig me up. Broken tibias, fibias, yeah, fix me up.
And that's off Relapse?
Yes, sir.
That's the one where it's like all the pills, right?
On the cover?
On the cover. It's like a pile of pills and that makes his face.
Yep, that's Relapse. Then you got Relapse Deluxe and Relapse Refill. Other than that, Webster's Laboratory by Chris Webby. I think some of those last couple albums before the Wednesday series were probably like my favorite from him. The first Wednesday, too.
Scoochie, is that, wait, no, Chris Webby.
Yeah, Scoochie Boochie's the comedy guy.
Yes.
Writes his story albums.
He's from Wisconsin, right? Here in the Midwest.
Wisconsin or Minnesota, yeah.
You can hear that in his voice.
Yeah, he just did a show in Chicago. He made a whole song about the UP of Michigan.
I bet to some of y'all out there, do we sound like Michiganders?
That's a good question.
Type Michigander yay or Michigander nay.
See, it could sound Michigan, but I tried so many years to get that out of my voice.
I hear Michigan in your voice right now, dog.
Yeah, but if I started talking like I used to, like this, then
You
there's
didn't used to talk. Maybe I don't
there's
remember.
no doubt in your mind that I'm from
There's no
Michigan
doubt
up
in your
here.
mind, eh? Yeah, we just, we've been holding back this whole time. This is really how we talk. We've been just, like that masculinity, it's restrained aggression and empathy, and it's just like
Just restraining
we're
these
restraining our
accents.
Michigander-ishness.
Michigander.
Yeah. But,
Or are we from down south somewhere? You never really know for sure.
you never really know for sure. You just, you gotta wait and find out sometimes.
Go wait and find out.
Hello, darling.
So yeah,
This
Chris
is my
Webby and
attempt at
Eminem, yeah.
British accent. Lately, okay,
course.
so last Saturday night, was it Saturday night?
Last Friday night.
Did we? Yeah. No, this was after our episode last week. Me and my wife went and saw Zach Bryan in concert.
Thought you were gonna say Zach Brown for a minute.
Are you overly familiar with Zach Bryan?
No idea who it is.
Okay.
Sounds
Dude,
country.
you should check him out. His song Over, yeah, he is. He's like kind of a mixture of like outlaw country and Americana vibes, folky vibes. He's probably, in terms of singing and songwriting, he's what Joe Rogan, Zach Bryan is to music and singing, what Joe Rogan is to podcasting.
Oh, you know what else I've been listening to?
I really appreciate him as a singer-songwriter. I like how he, like, it's rare for this, especially in country. He sings about, like, angst and, like, a lot of male emotions and reflections and whatnot, but in a way that's, like, very masculine. He's a very poetic songwriter, especially for country. And I just love the vibe of his music. I saw him in concert last Saturday, and his song Overtime, you, Jonathan, it made me think of you in particular when I heard it. I heard him sing it live, and I feel like I learned something new about music. I feel like I learned something new about singing. But, so Overtime, you guys check it out too. Overtime by Zach Bryan.
Check out 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton, you know, old classic one.
Oh, yeah.
Been listening to some old... You know, actually, never mind.
No, go ahead.
They don't need to know that.
Okay, never mind.
I got a thing for Taylor Swift since I was little.
Well, dude.
Kind of stopped listening to her for a long time after Reputation.
Are you talking about...
Just went back and listened to some of her new
liking
stuff.
Liking her music or liking...
Her music.
Oh, okay.
No, I think she's a witch.
I have a... My Taylor Swift would probably be Billie Eilish. She's another little by
Interesting.
little, you guys are gonna find out about my celebrity crushes.
Did you know that
Billie Eilish is one of them?
Her first album was made in her freaking bedroom
That doesn't surprise
by
me.
her brother.
Is that the one with Happier Than Ever on it?
Someone with Ocean Eyes.
Beautiful
around
song.
that time.
Beautiful song indeed. An artist that I just found last weekend. It's called The Ghost of Johnny Cash.
What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Creepy.
not Johnny Cash, because I was like, is this like Johnny Cash cover songs? I'm pretty sure it's somebody covering other people's songs in the style of Johnny Cash. Like, it sounds a lot like him, but it's one of those things to where it's like
Weird.
the voice, you can tell it's a little off to where it's not Johnny Cash.
It's the album with Bad Guy. Oh, Billie Eilish.
Oh, okay.
It's called When We All Fall Asleep. Where do we go?
Where do we go?
The Ghost of Johnny Cash.
The Ghost of Johnny Cash. So check out
Interesting.
House of the Rising Sun. It's funny, I was listening to that and I started singing along with it, and I hadn't heard the song before, but I know how Johnny Cash sings, and I know how the House of the Rising Sun goes. I started singing along just right in tune because, like, familiar things. So I'd say that, and Sound of Silence, that's also a good one. He does a cover of that.
The Ghost of Johnny Cash does?
The Ghost of Johnny Cash.
How about that? Is it better than Disturbed's cover?
I would say no. Probably not, because
That's like, in the history of cover songs, I think
Yes.
that is like the best to ever
I agree.
be released and blessed upon the ears of listeners.
Another one I'd recommend is Broken Cowboy by the Dead South. That's one that I'm probably going to learn and do for karaoke one of these nights.
If you like a cappella, you got to check out Home Free if you want some country music.
Oh my God, I hate a cappella.
They're actually good though.
I've yet to find an a cappella artist where I'm like, ooh, that's good, and I just want to chill and drive around listening to it.
Okay, I'll show you some of their stuff then.
All right.
I'll show you.
Game on.
You like them.
Game on. Another song suggestion.
You have more?
Yeah, some quick ones that are outside of the country realm. Take a Bow by The Muse, or by Muse. Handlebars by Flowbots.
Yes.
And, yeah, those are my song suggestions. So, what are we at on time?
Check out the song Whippin' by Chris Webby. A little line in there for handlebars for you. An hour 14.
Hour 14. Ooh,
That's the sweet spot.
that is my sweet spot. We
Oh,
found
perfect.
it.
All right.
All right. Any parting thoughts, Toodles?
Stay masculine, men.
Keep walking the balancing rope.
Men.
Men. He starts
All
singing
right.
and then just stops. Until next time.
Stay inquisitive
Yes, let's keep traversing this strange world.
with curiosity
Inquisitiveness.
and
Which are both
swag.
the same thing. And some swag. Good God. Do not forget the swag. And also, don't forget to be neighborly to folks.
Because at the end of the day,
We're all just
Strangers.
in a strange.
land.
All right. Until next time. Peace.
Toodles.
If you would like to contact us, email us at peaceandtoodles@gmail.com. Until next time, salutations, my fellow strangers.